Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Collins II, and with me, as always, is
Matthew Duck Factory Haas.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So, first off, Matt, I just wanted to talk about something that's been concerning me in the world.
Oh, yeah?
Before we get into the topic of today's show. So, there's a bunch of videos that I keep seeing on Facebook with white women making weird things in waffle makers.
Okay.
Yeah. Bunch of things other than waffles. And it's really concerning me.
Is it like a thing like they're doing on purpose? Is like a fad or like a meme thing? Or
they think it's better to cook weird things in waffle makers. Yeah, like ramen.
Okay.
Yeah, like the ramen noodles in a waffle maker, which seems dangerous to me.
It also seems like they're just doing it to get views. And that they don't actually think that it actually is better, but they're just like, oh, people will watch me do stupid shit, so I'm going to make a video of me doing stupid shit, and then hopefully people will watch it, and I can get some, like, ad revenue for it. That's what it seems like more.
It does seem like it to me, like, because it just seems like they're making a lot of things more difficult than they should be. I mean, I've made things in waffle makers that you shouldn't. Like, I'll buy, like, those like, Pillsbury cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
You put those in the waffle maker, and you can make them that way, and they're delicious. And then
that makes sense because you're making something that is already like a breakfast type food. Like a waffle. Like for example, it's like you're doing that, but like I'm gonna make SpaghettiOs in the waffle maker. And so that the SpaghettiOs are shaped in like a waffle, or it's like, what? Like, okay, or I'm gonna put meatloaf in the waffle maker so it's in the shape of a waffle. I'm gonna put that on Instagram or YouTube or I hate social media. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's like really weird. And like the latest one I saw was cupcakes, and this wasn't like they made the cupcakes in the waffle maker, which I guess would kind of make sense, like from scratch or whatever. It's like they bought some like cupcakes at Walmart or somewhere, and then put them in the waffle maker, like filled up the waffle maker with a bunch of cupcakes, frosting and all, and then crushed them down, and it just looked like a disgusting mess of clump of junk. So yeah, it's just really concerning me because I'm kind of just worried about these women. Like, I think there's something wrong with them. And I really do think that this is the most concerning issue in the world today. I don't think anything else matters besides the fact that we need to stop these crazy young white women from making things in waffle makers.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it is concerning.
Anyways, today on the show we are covering the short-lived television series The Duck Factory. We are going to cover the pilot episode, which was called Goodbye, Buddy. Goodbye, Buddy. Hello, Skip. Yeah, and The Duck Factory was a one-season television show that aired on NBC in 1984. Yes. It was the first Hollywood starring role for a very young Jim Carrey. This was prior to In Living Color and, obviously Ace Ventura and all the other great things he did back in the 90s. The show also starred Julie Payne, Nancy Lane, Tarses, Clarence Gilyard Jr., Don Messick in his only live-action role. Don Messick, if you don't know, is most famous for being the voice of Scooby-Doo for years. The original voice of Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Jack Gilford was in it. Bunch of people. Anyways, Teresa Ganzel. The basic concept of the sitcom is the comic adventures of the employees of a hard luck animation company. So like a smaller kind of like low budget television animation company. It was created by Alan Burns and Herbert Klein, both of whom had previous work as working in animation themselves. Alan Burns had started his career as a writer-animator for the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show and George of the Jungle, before turning to live action and co-creating the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And Klein had worked in various production companies on capacities, that is, on Mr. Magoo and Gerald McBoing Boing, which is, in my opinion, the greatest name ever. I do believe I'm going to change my name, Matt, to Gerald McBoing Boing. Do you think at 43 years old it's too late to change my name?
I don't think there's any age limitation to legally change your name.
Oh, okay. Do you think I can convince people to start calling me Gerald McBoing Boing?
I mean, it might take some time, but, a few people might call you that. I don't know how many, but
yeah. And they can't
say about 30%.
Yeah, and they can't call me just Gerald.
No.
It's got to be Gerald McBoing Boing.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I mean, it's obvious.
Or just McBoing Boing.
Okay.
You can just refer to me as Mr. McBoing Boing. I think I'll just stick with Mike. Okay, anyways, I've gotten used to it. So, what happens in this episode here, Matt?
Well, Skip, Jim Carrey's character, he's riding the bus, to LA. He's like, wide-eyed, type of thing. He's like seeing the city for the first time or whatever, and he's really excited to go to the Duck Factory. By the way, so I didn't even know what the show was about when you talked about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to look it up. I wanted to just watch it. So I was seriously wondering if he was going to work at like a duck processing factory. Like, where he's sitting there like preparing ducks for people to eat. I'm like, oh God, that's a pretty rough job to be getting in, LA. But no, it was much more fun than that, thankfully. Because I was like, oh man, it's going to be one hell of a show right there.
I want to see that sitcom.
Yeah, I want to see that one too. They should reboot it. It's called The Duck Factory, but it's totally changed the premise of the show. But so he shows up to go to the the office or whatever, and he knocks on the door and no one answers for a minute, and then someone finally starts coming out, and they're saying, "Oh, sorry, we're closed today or whatever." And then he's like, "Oh, can I talk to Buddy?" Because like all these guys are walking out with a casket around the other side of the building, and then she's like, "I don't think they'll open it up again just for you."
Yeah.
And so it's like he's like, "Oh God, like I came here for like a job interview because Buddy asked me to come here to show him some of my cartoons. You know, because this was before the age of the internet, where apparently you couldn't just send an email. You had to travel from Minnesota to Los Angeles just to show someone your pictures that you drawn. But and then so that was kind of like sort of setting up the problem of the show. Is like, you know, he traveled all the way out here, you know, to meet this guy, you know, to potentially get a job, and then the guy dies. So he's kind of, you know, he's new to town. He doesn't really know what's going on. So the woman, forgot her name. I don't know if she introduced herself yet, but she invites him to go to the funeral, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, pretty much becoming part of this group without even really knowing these people.
Yeah, he ends up becoming a pallbearer.
Yeah.
Accidentally, because Jack Gilford's character, Brooks Carmichael, can't lift the casket, so he helps. He offers to help, and then Brooks just leaves and makes him one of them.
Yeah, he just leaves. It's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. They get they're at the funeral, and they realize that the widow, Mrs. Winkler, she didn't set up a minister or anybody to talk at the funeral. So they're all just sitting there waiting for the, you know, priest or minister or rabbi or whatever to start talking, and nobody's there. And so they all start just standing up and talking about him and everything, and then they make Skip talk about him too at the funeral. Yeah, and Mrs. Winkler just seems like a very naive, you know, the typical stereotypical 80s dumb blonde sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, like a ditzy,
yeah,
you know, just kind of talks in sort of high tone or high pitch, you know, type of. You know, we saw a lot of that in like 80s. Well, you know, quite sexist, you know, kind of depictions of blonde, especially blonde women, which I never understood. You know, I like to know where stereotypes come from.
Yeah,
like I still haven't found where that even originates. Like, I have no idea of like the dumb blonde thing.
Yeah, like
came from.
when I was a kid, it was all dumb blondes and dumb Polish people.
Yeah,
and
me too. Dumb Polish.
I never understood either one of those things, because I know a lot of very smart blonde and Polish people, and people that are both blonde and Polish. And so it's like, I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's like, you know, super young and stuff like that. And, you know, we find out that they were only married for 3 weeks.
Yeah, like, or she actually even only knew him for like 3 weeks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
And we find out she was an ice skater in Vegas, a topless ice skater. That's how they met.
Dangerous.
Yes. I know all the times I've topless ice skated. That was dangerous.
Like that's like a lot of courage on her part to be on the ice topless, because she falls over. Man, that's gonna hurt a lot.
And I know it did every time I did. Back when I was a topless ice skater.
Well, I think it would hurt worse for her because of her breasts. Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Actually, I was a bottomless ice skater.
That's what I'm saying. It would be an equivalent of falling on balls on ice. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, that's what it would feel like. It's like, that's bad.
Bottomless ice skating with Mike.
Oh god! Yeah, I'm fully clothed with top. I got a t-shirt on.
Yeah. I wore a tuxedo suit on top and no pants.
Not naked. I'm covered from the top. I even got a ski cap on and everything.
Yep.
But not wearing a condom though. We're wearing a mask, but
yes.
Wow.
Oh, good times. Yeah, that job only lasted a little while. Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. So, that was back in my 20s. When I lived in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes.
You never lived in Vegas.
Nope, I've never even been to Vegas.
No.
So, what else happens here in this television?
It's a weird episode, I'll tell you that much. So they make him speak at the funeral. He's like, I never even met him, and then like the business manager, who also implied that she was having an affair with Buddy, through most of their lives together. She's like, well, you knew him enough to be a pallbearer, so say something. So he goes up and just, I don't know, says a little something, and then they leave. They go back to the office or whatever, try to figure out what else. No, actually, they went back to the mansion or wherever they lived, where he lived at with his wife, wife of 2 weeks or whatever, and for like a memorial type thing, and she starts talking to Skip, and because she feels kind of comfortable with him because they both don't really know him that well. I mean, Buddy that well.
Yeah.
And that's when she told him that he met her while she was topless skater on ice in Vegas, and she says that he could stay there, but then the manager overheard that and thought that Skip was trying to ease his way into getting a job or whatever type of thing. And he's like, if you want a job, you go through me or whatever. He's like, oh, you can really get me a job? And she's like, yeah, don't get excited. It's an entry-level position or whatever.
Yeah.
So instead of staying at the mansion, which would have been a lot cooler, which she offered him, so technically it's her mansion, but whatever, he ends up staying at the office itself in a room where Buddy, quote, took naps, which is euphemism for not taking naps.
It's for having sex.
Yeah, that's what happened, I'm pretty sure, because she talked about how we used to stay and work at midnight, and sometimes we worked all night long. It's like, oh, okay. And it's like, you know what you're doing. It's got a water bed, just some weird 80s shit, or 70s shit, rather.
Yeah, very sleazeball, sex den sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, just lava lamps, I think, and shit like that. So that's that's his home now.
I mean, it looks just like my bedroom does now, but
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You got the round water bed, like a circle type of thing, and you got the
mirror on the ceiling.
Lamp. Yeah, of course. That he could do this, get a projector screen and do the Pink Floyd space thing or whatever.
Yeah. Or like they say in the thing, he used to shave in bed.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell?
I know.
It's it's weird.
Yeah.
And, so that's his home now. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, he shows up, and then within a day or within a few hours, he's got a job and a place to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty, and does not usually happen that quickly for, unless you have already got set up. If you just show up in the city.
Or if you know somebody in Vegas who can get you a job as a bottomless
bottomless skater, yeah. Yes, a bottomless ice skater.
Yep.
I wonder, when rollerblades became the thing, became they went into that instead of ice skating. Oh well.
Yeah, I used to rollerblade bottomless on the Santa Monica Pier in Los Angeles all the time, and Wait, what? Am I imagining all this? I'm kidding.
I think you are.
Oh, okay.
I don't think any of these things happened, but
no.
So he finds out that that the budget's really low because he came up with these really cool ideas to do with the cartoon, and then the guys, he really loves it and stuff, and then he's like, they'll never let us do it because it costs more money to do all these extra animations, and that's when he finds out that oh shoot, I'm kind of working for a company now that's not really doing too well, but he's kind of like, one of these like super hopeful people or whatever. Like everyone else wants to just give up, find new jobs, elsewhere or whatever.
Yeah, do you want to take a quick break here, Matt, and then we'll talk about the rest of the episode?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
So, like I was saying, Matt, I wore the skate on my penis, and oh wait, okay, we're back, folks, and so
Wow.
So the
that one like took me aback there. Jesus Christ.
So anyways, what else happens in this episode of the Duck Factory here, Matt?
Well, certainly not that. But yeah, so he's like this really hopeful dude, he does like the whole inspiring speech thing, like, no, we gotta stick together or whatever type of thing. And like, the business manager, I keep forgetting her name, but she's like the one that pretty much runs the ship.
I think it's Aggie.
It's right, Aggie. She's like, she was trying to get into like some kind of new technology, I guess, to make it a little bit cheaper to make the cartoons, but then that would then also mean that some people would get fired. So like they kind of went back and forth like with that, I think, and then eventually it got to the point where it was like, no, we're all going to keep our jobs, but we're all going to basically make this, work somehow.
Yeah.
That was basically it, I think, near the end of the episode.
It's basically about all that happens in the episode. I mean, yeah, and you've got the, they basically, she had to talk to the network and basically take a reduced price for the show so it could stay on the air. And at one point, a couple of the guys working there, a couple of the writers were about to quit, but then they basically were told by Skip that they, where else are they going to find a job, because it's hard to find a job in, animation.
Right.
Which is true, because, that's what I wanted to do before I did the bottomless ice skating. I was trying to do a bottomless animation. And nobody got my, I was ahead of my time.
No one got your humor at the time.
They didn't really understand, I got sued for sexual harassment and things. I don't understand what that was about, but
well, it's probably from all the bottomless skating or animating or whatever.
Yeah, I could only draw really well when I was bottomless. That's just a really weird thing. Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
No.
I don't think that's a thing.
You don't believe me, do you, Matt?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I don't know if I believe myself either. But anyways, I forgot to ask at the beginning here, Matt. I'll ask you now because we're at the end here. What did you think of this episode?
It was okay. It had a very 80s, feel to it, like that kind of humor, at least. That kind of like, what would I call it? Dark humor, but just kind of, I guess sort of edgy, but not, edgy for its time, I guess. Like the whole thing about like, I don't know if they'll open it up for you, the casket, stuff like that. Those kind of that humor, it wasn't my favorite show, but I kind of liked it.
I think I found interesting, like, style wise, is the fact that it seemed like a single camera sort of operation as opposed to the 3-camera operation that was prevalent at that time. To know the difference, like, on most sitcoms at the time were shot in front of a studio audience with 3 cameras. This wasn't. I could tell, it looks like they added a laugh track afterwards. But,
oh, wow.
Yeah, but it wasn't shot in front of an audience like shows like, of the 80s, like your Full Houses and all those things were shot, like in front of a studio audience,
Right.
The show did air after Cheers on Thursday nights, which is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said before, it lasted 13 episodes. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I really liked it. I remember watching this as a kid or like a teenager or something on Comedy Central.
Oh, wow.
They used to re-air this on Comedy Central a lot in the early days of Comedy Central before they started, making their own content and stuff. So, because they used to air a lot of weird reruns of shows that didn't last too long because they were probably cheaper for them to get.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like this and like the Bad News Bears television series and
right, yeah.
Things of that nature, like, that you didn't really see much. Yeah, that's a show we might want to cover for a future episode. Yeah, it's just interesting. Interesting. A lot of interesting shows that I never would have seen before, but they were just all on Comedy Central at that time. Back when I was obsessed with just watching television all the time, unlike now where I'm just obsessed with watching things on streaming. Wait.
Yeah. or The Masked Singer.
Yes. Yes. Fuck The Masked Singer. I love that show, but they keep getting rid of the good acts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You don't plan to watch it, do you, Matthew?
I don't know. Probably not.
Okay, so I'm going to spoil things here, folks, so don't listen to this.
That's fine.
But, they got rid of Hanson.
What?
Yeah. The best harmonies in the fucking business, people. And they voted off Hanson. Like, what the fuck?
I'm going to kill them.
Yes. That was a couple weeks ago or so, and then they voted off other people that I was just like, why the people that are left, I still like them, but I'm just like, come on, Hanson were the best.
It's a conspiracy.
Yes. Either that, or I think that, I think a lot of it's staged and they want people to leave at certain times for reasons that have nothing to do with actual votes, because I don't think that the votes are actually legit. So, anyways.
I mean, it looks like they got bopped off the stage, which is really bad.
Yeah, they got stuck in the middle of nowhere. And,
yeah.
Which was the name of their first album. Anyways, so I don't know. Any other thoughts on this episode, on this show, Matt? Before we take another break, and then we'll come back with some trivia and reviews.
No, I think we could do that.
Okay. All right. I know it's a quick break here, folks. We'll be right back. After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's the Ninja from the Ask the Angry Ninja Show saying, come listen to the show. We got the Ninja Wife to give you your movie reviews. We got the Conscript to give you the ninja news. And we got the Battle to talk about your sports. And as always, it is the Ask the Angry Ninja Show. So ask me a question. We'll give you the ninja knowledge you need for your ninja life. Search for us anywhere you get your podcast from. Just search for the Ask the Angry Ninja Show and enjoy the show.
Okay, so then when I was drawing that one thing, I was telling you about that duck that I was drawing. I dropped to the ground, and everybody was like, "Oh, we can see your butthole." And wait, I'm sorry. Anyway, so wait a second. What's wrong with me?
I think you're having a lot of false memories here.
Yeah. Yeah, but really, I was a bottomless animator and a bottomless ice skater.
I just don't think there's a thing.
Are you sure? Well, it was better. It was better than that time I tried to be a bottomless fry cook.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think that turned out well.
No, it didn't turn out medium rare either. Anyways, so the back to the show. I need help. So basically, this was Jim Carrey's first starring role in Hollywood, and like I said, the only other real trivia is the fact that this aired after Cheers, like I've said before. So pretty much, there's no real major trivia here.
Right.
Do you want me to read a review here, Matt?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Okay, here's one from 2002, on December 30th, from Canonet. I saw it, too. I remember seeing The Duck Factory on NBC as a teenager. I had an interest in voice work and animation, plus curious to see what Don Messick looked like. The show was okay, from what I remember, but felt NBC did not really give it a chance. Typical of shows that are actually good, but the almighty dollar and ratings rule, so it was cut. Here's another one. Underrated comedy from MTM. That's Mary Tyler Moore Productions. This is from Gary 109 in July 16th of 2001. This little gem of a comedy. The title refers to a cartoon studio where the main character is a duck. That's the other thing. The main character of the show is Dippy Duck. Yeah, that we didn't really get into. Didn't get its due. It stars Jim Carrey in his pre-crazy period, as well as the wonderful Jack Gilford. The entire cast is a delight in this show that really deserves a stay of execution. Really deserved, not deserves. I'm glad that IMDb says it's out on video, but I've never seen it anywhere. I'll guess I'll keep looking. Yeah, that's the other thing. The show is only the first 3 and the last 3 episodes are out on VHS. That's all you can, find anywhere. Except for, I believe the whole show is actually on YouTube for free. So
now.
Yeah. Here's another one. 7 out of 10. I liked it despite Jim Carrey. This is from Fernser, and this is March 26th of 2008, that is. At the time, I didn't realize he was the star. I liked it a lot, but thought it was an ensemble comedy with Jack Gilford and the girl as the main characters, with Carrey in the loudmouth sidekick part. I was always waiting for him to shut up, and then the others could get back to the story. I've never been able to watch his other roles. He always seems so hammy and yet full of himself. Seems like they had a lot of familiar faces like Larry Gelman, the dentist on the Newhart show. I never realized it was on tape. Now that I know it's available, I bought the 2 reels for $10. I'll be able to see it really was as promising as I remember it. Yeah, see if it was, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyways, overall, like I said, I really liked this show. I remember watching it as a kid, and I think it did deserve a little bit, I mean, it was basically, it was a product of its time. It wasn't like, the greatest show ever, but it was really funny, and you could see the potential in Jim Carrey in this show, But it was, like they said, before his crazy days, before he got all, Fire Marshal Bill on us and everything,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I don't know. Any other thoughts on this here, Matt?
No, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a short episode that we have here, folks, but,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to really talk about a show that we enjoyed,
Right, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I kind of want to go back now and watch the rest of the episodes that are on YouTube, which I probably will end up doing eventually.
Yeah, because I saw 3 of them on. I mean, I didn't watch, but I saw that there were 3 of them on YouTube at least.
Yeah, there's at least 3 episodes on there, which I recommend checking out. Jack Gilford is amazing. He's the older animator on the show, and he's a very underrated actor. He's a comic genius in my opinion. His timing is just on point all the time. It's worth watching just for him, and also being able to see what Scooby-Doo looked like in person with Don Messick, who did a lot of great voices. He's one of the greatest voiceover artists of all time. Which I'm obsessed with voiceover artists, so I was happy to see him in something. But yeah, rest in peace, both of those guys. Yeah. So, yep. Anything else on your mind here, Matt, before we go?
Just, no, I can't think of anything clever.
Yeah. Well, get your vaccines, people. But when you go to get them, make sure you're wearing bottoms.
Yeah.
They don't need to stick you down there. They stick you in the arm. Just letting you know.
Nope.
Yep. And also, just wanted to, say, be sure to go to our Patreon. Check that out. You can help support the show that way. Share us on social media anywhere you can. I'd really appreciate that. The more listens we get, the more people will, be able to find the show. The more reviews we get on Apple Podcasts would be great too, because that'll help people find the show. It sounds like something simple and stupid, but it does help a lot. And I know everybody asks you to do that, but it literally takes less than a minute to leave a review on Apple. And that's probably one of the best ways you can do that. Make sure you check out any of our sponsors. That helps out too. Whether they're things, one of the things that's been sponsoring our show lately is Manscaped, and that helps when you're, especially when you're a bottomless ice, dancer.
Yeah.
It does help out, So, yep. Just thought of that. Anyway, so until next time, folks. Wear a mask, wear a condom. Be good to each other and be kind and rewind. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.